Listen, oh, why is our soil no longer ours? Why are seeds now sold like softwares? Why must the farmer ask permission to plant food? Why do we now grow crops with barcodes? GMO, three letters they throw around like it's innovation. But what does it really mean? Genetically modified organism. Sounds scientific, sounds cool, sounds smart. But here's what it really is. Food that has been tampered with, changed, engineered in a lab, not by nature, not by time, but by man, in a lab. Imagine mixing the DNA of a fish into tomato, or inserting the chemical that kills pests straight into your maize. So the crop kills the insects from the inside out. Now what happens when you eat that crop? What happens when your child grows up on it? To understand this fully, let's rewind to where it all started. It was in 1973, long ago, in a laboratory in America. Two scientists, Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen, successfully altered the genetic structure of bacteria. That experiment changed the world forever, because once they learned how to reprogram life, they believed they could redesign nature. Now fast forward to 1994, the first GMO food entered the market. A tomato called Flavor Sava. Please pardon my pronunciation. This tomato didn't rot quickly. It stayed fresh on the shelf for weeks. Wonder. People thought it was a miracle. But behind that miracle was Monsanto, a company not interested in feeding the world. They could care less, but in owning the world instead. Monsanto created GMO seeds that were patented, meaning once you plant them, you can't replant the seeds next season. You must buy again and again and again. If you save the seed, they can take you to court. Crazy, right? This is not agriculture. This is monopoly. It is digital slavery, planted in the soil. And just when you thought it was only happening in America, the billionaires rose and came in. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stepped in. They said they wanted to end hunger. They said Africa needed help. But help came with hidden hands. They funded AGRA, that's the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. They pushed GMO seeds into Nigeria, same with Kenya. They pushed it into Ghana. They pushed it to Malawi, Zambia, almost the whole of Africa and sub-Saharan Africa. They sponsored research, influenced policies, trained our people as scientists, and told our government that this was the future. But if it's the future, why has most European nations rejected it? Why has Russia banned it completely? Why did India rise up and throw the Gates Foundation out after a wave of farmer protests? Ask yourself, if GMO is so good, why do the rich countries say no while the poor ones are told to say yes? This is not about feeding Africa. It's about feeding their control. Because once they own your seed, they own your land. Once they own your land, they own your food. And once they own your food, they own your future. Listen to me very attentively, please. GMO is not just a seed. It is a system. A cruel system that starts in the lab, but ends in your kitchen. A wicked system that promises life but plants dependence and ends lives. So before you celebrate that new high-yield maize, before you clap for that government announcement, before you repost that yeye influencer who says this is innovation, draw your ears and ask, who controls the soil? Who controls your stomach? Because in the end, whoever controls your food controls your freedom. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. We all need to stand up and say no to GMO. Follow me for the next episode. My name is Izuman. This is Chronicles and Power. And until I come your way again, stay very informed and watchful. DJ No.